Well, I do retreats here at the Sorrento Center every fall. I won't be doing them this year just because I have a book out, but yeah, every fall we do a week-long retreat, and this is close to home. Like I can walk here, so that's nice. But it's a beautiful environment, right? There's a pathway down to the lake here, and grounds that you can just hang out, and it really is a retreat. It's just a place where you can take a deep breath and focus on writing if you want to, or snooze if you don't, and just chill. But yeah, when it comes to mentoring, I sometimes joke that I don't know if my teaching supports my writing habit or my writing habit supports my teaching, right? I mean, neither way is a great way to, make a big buck, but I love it both. I love them both. So yeah, mentoring has actually become the larger part of my life now that I've hit 60. So I think that'll probably continue over the next, however long my brain holds up. No, Jack Hodgins, yeah, he mentored me actually even before I went to the University of Victoria. I had won, what was it? It was the Federation of BC Writers contest, and he had judged it. And I guess he saw something in my writing at that early stage. I mean, this is way back in the, I think, early 80s. And he sort of took me under his wing at that point, and I ended up going to UVic because he was teaching there, right? Oh, fun fact about Jack Hodgins, I don't know if you know this. He was a friend of his, well, I'll backtrack. The character Jack Hodgins on the television series Bones is named after him. His friend was one of the, I guess, creative directors or creators of the show, so that character is named after Jack Hodgins. So I ended up going to UVic and doing my bachelor's there. He worked with me on The Cure for Death by Lightning as a directed studies. Then once I left UVic, he continued to, offer encouragement and help me out with kind of the publishing end of things, which was terribly confusing then and even more so now. And he continued to, we shoot emails at each other when I had kids. I brought my kids in to meet him and that kind of thing. So yeah, that continued throughout the years, and he taught me a great deal, not just about writing and the publishing end of things, but also about the writing life, I guess. And he was always encouraging, always kind, and that really informed my own later teaching and mentorship style to, never come across as a person who knows it all, because we don't, but just share the problems that we all have as writers, right? I think that's the biggest gift that a mentor can give another writer, is just that, to say, hey, that happens to me too, or I'm afraid of this, or I do that all the time, right? And I think that's what we can give each other, as mentors. So he gave me that, and other things too, like when my dad died, I think it was 2003, I sent an email to Jack just shortly after and said that I was sitting beside my dad, feeling a little like I had a vulture on my shoulder, because as I was going through everything I was going through with the loss of my dad, I was also observing as a writer and making notes on the death process and everything we were going through. And I said, I think there's something a little pathological about that. And he said, no, that's the way writers process. It's our way of working through things. It's a totally healthy thing. And it was a bit of a relief. So again, it was that sharing of what it is to be a writer and to have that. So he impacted my life hugely over the years. Yeah. I think it's very hard for a writer to turn off the observer, my vulture on the shoulder. It never turns off. So I think we're always taking note of details and bits of conversation and perspective, other people's ideas. I think that's a little creepy in its way, because I'm not sure what other people think of that, but it's, I think, a necessary part of the writing life that we are observers. So it's coming out August 25th this year, and I think I'm best known for my literary works, so the highfalutin, great Canadian novel kind of thing, right? But when I hit, I don't know, it was about 50, I started to get a little uncomfortable, a little restless, I guess. And I talked to my agent about doing some other kinds of books. And so I said, can I start with a thriller? Can I do some thrillers? And she said, sure, which really surprised me. So I wrote The Almost Widow and The Almost Wife. And then I thought, I've kind of always wanted to do a time travel novel. And way back in my 30s, I was going through a really, really rough time and had a meditation that I would do where I would talk to my future self who had some perspective and could tell me that things would be okay. And it helped. And more recently, I've been doing the same thing and realized here I was, that older presence, looking back at my young self and telling her everything would be okay. Oh, I got emotional there. So out of that just basic idea came The Atlas Keeper. So it's about a young woman who finds an atlas that contains a map of her life, or 12 points in her life, and she uses it to go and visit those 12 points. So she talks to her past self, and she talks to her future self as well. So that's where that came from. In a strange kind of way, we're talking about mentorship. In a way, I'm mentoring myself back there too, right? So it's, it's about coming full circle, I think, as a mentor, a mentor. It's having that mentorship when you're young, and it's coming around full circle and giving it back.